Good afternoon. We're still here on the first day of Barcelona New Economy Week with the aim of reactivating the economy here in our country and also in the whole world. As you know, during 4 days we will be offering conferences, debates, interviews, and 10 different stages which are connected to each other. We will talk about logistics, real estate, economic zones, digital industry, sustainability, mobility, talent, science, city, and e-commerce. And we, as you know, will be focused on this last one, on e-commerce. Right now, we are going to give way to a new and interesting conference on social commerce and how companies are adapting to new sales model after COVID-19. A few minutes ago, we discussed it on the previous conference. The fashion sector, for example, had been hit hard during the pandemic, and many companies had to present his new collections on Twitter, on Instagram, and also with live streaming, and adapted the model DTC model. That worked, and we say that that worked because we have a lot of studies that says that e-commerce in some sectors grew up to 200% in subsectors in this period. So that's a good point. I leave you with Christian Sorensen. Christian, nice to meet you. Thank you for being here with us. He's a great expert on this matter. He has been a few years helping build up a hospitality company, but now he's focused on his own project, Podder. Podder is a podcast sound influencer advertising platform that connects advertisers to their ideal audiences through podcasts. We say hello also to David. David, hello. He's CEO of Go Pop-Up and Shop Live, and Inés Arroyo, she's founder of Lagam. So I leave you with them. I hope you enjoy it. See you in a bit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, thank you very much. Well, so we're talking about social selling in e-commerce today. I'd like to start with David. To you, what is social selling?
Good question. Well, social selling is a new way of connecting the consumers with the brands and with the providers of products and services in a way that is more credible and more direct and more connected with the actual way the consumers behave.
What makes it social?
Well, we used to call it social because it's actually not like one-to-one or brand to consumer directly, but also through the network of friends, influencers, or other people that is connected with the consumers, and it's not the brand itself. So it's not so direct, it's more indirect through the network of their own consumer.
Okay, is this better? Okay. Inés, what does that mean? What specifically could it be? What forms could social selling take?
So for me, as David said, what it does is to reduce those friction that has the online and the e-commerce, no? And also social commerce is a much funnier way to get in touch with your client and also gives the trust to your client and more directly. And there are several options and like selling by Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. But for example, nowadays, what is more like in the hot market is live streaming sales, for example. That is, I think, that the real future of social commerce, where not the people only wants to see things, wants to hear things, and wants to take part of those decisions of the brands. So they really want to have a conversation with the brands and also with other users to know more about the brand in a more trust way.
Okay. Is social selling a new thing, or has it been around for a long time? David?
Well, social selling is always with us, and it has been always like that, because when you hear your friends about recommendations, when you ask anyone who is supposed to be an expert on a product for advice, which is not the real seller, it's a kind of social selling. So it was an analog, let's say, past of social selling, but now social selling is much seen as a way of how digitalization is bringing this credibility and capability to anyone and anywhere in the world. So it's not like your direct connection. It could be anyone that can be an advisor for your decision.
Okay. Okay. Is this something that is only used for direct to consumer, or it could also work for B2B selling? Ines? Selling? Ines?
Well, it can be between also different brands. I think also, for example, as David we were talking before, with live streaming, with the app that they are developing, they want to take part of different shops that can connect between them and create different live sessions with clients. No, so I don't only think it's B2C, but it's really focused to the clients to take part of the brands.
Okay. You mentioned live streaming specifically. Where does that come from? Is that something we've where in the world did this originate as a sales form?
Well, live streaming, it started in China, like in 2014. They were pioneers there. They had this new business model that is where key opinion leaders, like influencers, were selling products via online through live sessions. No, so they started there in China with different platforms like Taobao for Alibaba. They were the first ones, and then there were several more. And now it's going to, has been in these last years coming to Europe, coming to the US before. And there are like different scenarios, no? Because now there are a lot of players of live streaming sessions that they are creating. There are some ones that are more like mainstream live sessions that are not just for fashion brands, but also for different product brands. And it's more a massive platform that really, they do a lot of gamification with the clients. They reward the clients. They do a lot of sales promotion, so it's more massive. There are also another players like, for example, Network is another platform. They are more focused on engagement with their community, and it's more for a niche target of audience that they really value the values of the brand and they want to be part of the community. And this is more like for a business model that want to play with subscriptions, for example, to give information of new drops only for these clients. So creating like a club, a social club for the clients. And also there are another players that are, for example, LiveScale, that is an American one, that they are getting on live streaming to put on the website of the brand, no? And also creating synergies between the brand, the backstage of the brand. For example, if they are working with Shopify, they integrate with your Shopify, and the client can buy at that moment without going out of the session of the live streaming at that moment. No? So there are different players, and I think it's really in a huge and hot market now. But also there are like social networks that are improving these live streaming sales without being a platform of live streaming, like for example Twitch.
Okay, okay. David Pena?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, and now.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Like, David, just in your words, how does social commerce fit into the world of traditional e-commerce?
Well, I think basically that social commerce is an evolution of the way we were using and understanding the traditional e-commerce as it is right now. From our point of view, until a few years ago, there were two parts of the internet that were separated, which were first everything connected with social media as we understand it, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, all these networks, and these were places where we are maintaining conversations with a very interesting feature, which is that we know pretty well, or we know more or less who is in the other side of the table talking to us. So we give some, as David said before, we give some credibility to this information. And on the other hand, we had another part of the internet which is the e-commerce, where we take decisions every day on what we buy, where we buy it, and everything. So basically, to me, the idea of the social commerce responds to a necessity of getting those two parts of the internet linked somehow, so that I can go to those conversations that I maintain with my friends, with my favorite influencers, whatever, and from the information that I'm gathering from those conversations, I can make decisions in the e-commerce sector, and decisions which probably will make my purchase processes more better informed, and afterwards they will be better for me, since I will be more satisfied with what I do. So as a resume, I think it's just an evolution, a very normal evolution of the traditional commerce into something that is just a product of the merge of both worlds.
Okay, awesome. David Perez, is this something that is only for like traditional large clothing stores like Zara here in Spain? Is it something that is mainly for 100% online retailers? Or is it also something that is a useful marketing tool for more traditional old one-off clothing store or retail stores?
Yeah, actually we are working on both sides, but mostly on the traditional ones, because we truly believe that, well, this is no longer omni-channel, it's more like phygital. So the consumers can have a long, let's say, consuming experience going from one channel to another and combining the different ways of relation with the brands or with the shops. So yes, let's say e-commerce are more ready, more prepared to start using these kind of tools. But in fact, we can apply this to any business, because when you go to a physical shop and you talk to your attendant or to the expert of the product, it's something that you do physically, but you would like to do also online. So talking to a person directly, like I think you do also, is something that you can do using any communication mean. So also online and using live stream or using online selling, just connecting like we are doing now with David in Madrid, for example.
We're doing social selling.
So he could be selling something to me using this media as if I was in the shop. So and we see it's going to be an evolution. So it's not only live stream. We are going to apply other technologies like even virtual reality when this advances a little bit more, or anything that can make the people at home to feel like if they were at the shop. So the experience and the connection with the person who is selling the product is going to be much more lively, much more real, let's say, like in a traditional shop. So we can address to both, and we are actually doing. If
okay.
I can give you more details later about that.
So a definition of social selling would be giving the end user, no matter where they are, the same experience as if they were in a physical shop.
Yeah, in our case, this is something that is one of our challenges and one of our objectives. But I would say that social selling is simply connecting consumers among them, connecting consumers with the brands, and doing in a way that it's the most natural possible way. So it's like meeting in the street. At the end, social selling is a way of know the products and be convinced and get knowledge about the products in a way that is connected to socializing. Is when we are socializing with our friends, with anyone else, we are persons that we enjoy, we have fun, we have a drink, and we also talk about products. So at that moment is a way of socializing, is a way of exchanging information, experiences with others, and this is what we try to put in place for our networks and our communities.
Okay. Ines, you mentioned that Lagam, you use live streaming a lot.
Yeah.
How is this like? How does this kind of influence the type of brand that you are? And
Well, in our case, we started with like live streaming sales with WhatsApp. On 2017, we had a really big community of our clients on WhatsApp. We have like 6 groups of WhatsApp where there I had conversation with the clients where I show them like new drops that were coming, like new styles and all kind of new things about Lagam, and a little bit of influenced by the live streaming of China. We were like, okay, why we cannot do some video sessions to show our clients how to style our products. So once every month, it was the last Thursday of every month, we started to do some sessions of live streaming that we were like styling our products, and we sell the videos, but it was not live. It was live at the moment that we were on the chat of the WhatsApp, my team and the clients talking about, and it was super cool because clients were talking between them. That is also the thing that David tells, no? That I think the difference between live streaming sales nowadays is it has to be really natural. You cannot put like a normal commercial or doing like a normal commercial. You have to be your own essence. And for me, it's like if I was talking with my friends and telling them, you have to buy this, you have to wear this. So we were like 3 years doing WhatsApp sales. And on that point on COVID, we were like, okay, how can we scale this? Because we had 6 groups of WhatsApp with more than 250 clients, but we wanted to scale this, no? So we were okay. They were talking a lot about live streaming, but we were like, how we can do it that our clients go there without having to download another platform or have to be familiar with another platform. So we were influenced by Twitch, and that is a social network, and it was a social network focused on gamers and people who were playing on live sessions. And we started to see that another different targets of people were sharing on Twitch different aspects that it doesn't have to be with games. So we started with Twitch. The advantage of Twitch is that it's a social network that doesn't have a limited. So someone that is in Twitch can watch your live, and it doesn't have to know what is your brand, no? So it's not only a club for our brand, it's more massive. But it's our channel, and it's our, people can follow us, so because it's a social network, no? So since January of 2020, of 21, we do every Wednesday at 7 o'clock a live session on Twitch where we show our new drops and we show our clients how to style them. And in that period of 1 hour, also clients talk between them, no? Okay, I have those pants on those and with those shoes, and I put it like this, and I wear it like that. So between them, they also have a conversation. So that's the magic of live streaming session. It's not only a conversation between the shop or the person who is talking or showing their products. It's also that you are giving the opportunities to your clients to know another people that has the same tastes as you, and you can share common values or common things you like. So you are building a community around this.
Okay. Okay. Okay, David Perez, you mentioned earlier that social selling, we've always been doing it in an analog form, but it's something that is suddenly talked about a lot more than it ever has before. David Penna, why is that? Why is social selling something we're talking about now and not before?
Well, I was quite agree about something that David said before, which is that we have been doing social selling for all our lives, from since the beginning of the story. What we do when we ask a friend, hey, why don't you give me a good recommendation, considering that you are good in books, for instance. Why don't you recommend me a book for a gift or for me for these holidays? We are doing social selling in that occasion. We are resorting to our social network to make a decision. And the same, it works the other way around. When you go to a restaurant and you really like it, the experience is really fantastic, and you are in a group with your friends and you said, hey guys, I have to say to you that I have discovered the best ever restaurant in this city. So this, we used to say that this is the base of the word of mouth as probably the most ancient marketing methodology. Okay, so to my view, this has been existing from all our story, and the only difference that we are implementing right now with our platforms is that we can do it online. That something that a few years ago was impossible to understand, like resorting without synchronicity to that information. So with that value, because it comes from our friends, we can go without. We don't need to talk to our friends we don't need to talk to our friends to discover that information, because our information is already there. So to my view, it has been existing from all our lives. And the only difference right now is that we can resort to the technology to make our lives easier. That's it, to my point of view.
Okay, thank you. What's the future for social selling in Europe or in the world, but especially in Europe, David?
Well, as Ines was explaining before, this has started in China from this technology revolution some years ago, not many years ago, but going very fast. And well, we have to look what they are doing. And what they are doing is converting into one of the main sub-channels in e-commerce and in selling in general. Because the brands have realized the change of the paradigm between what they called before the key opinion leaders, so the people that gives opinion to everyone about almost anything, to key opinion consumers. So there are some people that is very specialized in some kind of product because they are heavy users, or because they are early adopters, or because I don't know, they had an intimate relationship with that kind of product. So they become key opinion consumers. So the others follow their advices in a different way than an influencer. They don't follow because they are famous or because they are beautiful or because they have a lot of money. They follow because they really know what the product is about and how to use it. So that's the difference, and we don't need to have key opinion consumers with millions of followers. We want the ones that have the followers that are really interested in that product. So we are doing more micro-marketing in a sense that we are segmenting much more. We are getting much more valuable advice, not driven by money, by fame, by the noise that they can do wherever else, but the really trusty advice. So I think the future of social selling is giving visibility and connecting with the really relevant people for every occasion. And this depends not only on the product, but on the use or the moment when you are searching for that product. So we need tools, we need ways to find this niche, these specialized people. And basically, we need to empower the social networks with the capabilities to give really trustworthy advice in a way that is fair for the brands and for the consumers. So not so mediatic, let's say, not so driven by the big numbers, but driven by the quality and the really trustworthy advice. So social selling is going to become something more similar to the analog social selling, but online.
Okay, and how would we ensure that? How would we ensure that it's only the real solid advice that gets the voice?
Well, the point is how you also rate and how you also find these advisors. So in a way, you can have advisors from the real brands. I mean, like when you go to a shop and you give advice from the people attending in the brand, but you can also get advice from those people that is used to consume these products. So how to find it? Well, we need to apply intelligence to the tools and mechanisms in order to rate the advice and in order to make really valuable content. So the content that the brands will provide the users and the content that other users can use or can generate to recommend has to be a content that is really valuable and trusty. And the way you evaluate this content is the way that it's going to rate the credibility and it's going to give the real value to the consumers in order to follow certain brands, certain advisors, and certain social these key opinion consumers.
Okay. Ines, from consumers' perspective, is it a good thing for them that more and more companies are being aware of social selling and what it means, and more companies are shooting up in this space? And if so, why? Why does it make a difference?
So for consumers, they are really, in my experiences, they are super happy with those tools, because you are like giving them the tools to those friction that has the e-commerce. No, when you see, because now I think, for example, millennials, we were more like, I want to see things and I want to be inspired by images. Generation Z is more like, I want to watch things and I want to hear things, no? And I want to take advantage of this, and I want to tell you what I want, no? And I think this is the difference, and now is what we are going to see, and we are seeing it nowadays. Also because, for example, video is going super. Is a trend now more than pictures. People really want to see the movement, the how it fits. For example, on fashion, talking about fashion, that is my sector. But also, what it wants consumers is that more brands do this, because it gets to use like to watch this, like, for example, live streaming or when you see it on Instagram, but more like live streaming is like you are used to that. For example, every Wednesday they have to connect 1 hour and see new things. If this does lagam on other brands and more brands, they are going to see that going to the physical store, it will be one experience, but going to watch a live streaming session, for example, with any brand of the world, gives you the capability to discover new brands and new products. So I really think that for consumers is the way that gives them the trust of the companies and the brands, and also is the part where the brands can explain more about the process of the products. I'm not only showing the product, how you can wear it. I also can explain you the values of the brand. I can also show you the transparency of the supply chain to create this type of products. So I really think the information is more, it has more value than just selling a product.
Okay. Okay, thank you. David Penna, you're the CEO of People. Now both Lagam and Go Pop Up have been mentioned. But what do you do? What is People?
Well, People is basically an app of recommendations. Basically, what we do is we help our users to make decisions when they are searching for things, anything you can imagine, a book, a movie, or whatever, and we provide this user with information on what, where, and what to buy. And the key thing here is that recommendation is provided to that user coming from someone that he or she may identify as someone that he or she can trust. Basically, we used to mention your friends and your favorite influencers. So this way, we are helping our users to buy anything they may need, starting from recommendations from friends and influencers. That's what we do, basically. Social commerce, pure social commerce.
Okay, very good. And David Perez, you mentioned in Go Pop-Up that you help smaller independent stores and so on, but what exactly do you do? How are you a social commerce company?
Well, we started as a company to build pop-up stores, which are temporary stores, physical ones. Some years ago, we have a marketplace. We help a lot of brands on that. But suddenly, with the pandemic, like everyone else, we were realizing that, well, we had to discover other channels, other ways of doing basically the same thing. So we have created, with different pilots, at the end, a platform that is called Shop Live, which is basically an app where the brands or the shops, the physical shops, can be there, digitalized, on a map, and then the consumers can discover brands the same way that they do walking down the street. Of course, with more tools like search tools and hashtags and things like that that help them to find. But at the end, what we are doing is creating an experience where people can discover new things and can get in touch with the shops and can follow them and so on. So basically, we are creating a channel for the physical shops. It can be small shops like in a neighborhood that they have this proximity with their neighbors and so on, but they want to open to other markets. And then what they can do is basically to create a profile, and they can show with live stream, for example, sessions that are associated to that profile, their products, or create promotions and so on. Imagine there are many different applications of that, but imagine that you want to buy the trendiest and the best video games in the world, okay? Where do you want to go? Probably to Akihabara neighborhood in Tokyo. Want to go? Probably to Akihabara neighborhood in Tokyo. So why not going through the app to Akihabara and visiting the physical shops that are there, getting advice live with the people there, watching videos or talking directly to the attendants there, and really buy the latest video game that is produced there, the same way as if you were going there. So basically, this is democratizing for any shop, for any small business, to give them the world. And it's not competing like in the e-commerce, where you have to, well, do all the ads and so on to bring traffic to your website. It's something that the consumers will discover by themselves, just walking down the digital street, let's say. So we think it's an interesting proposal for anyone, for big brands, of course, but also for the very small ones, because we make everyone equal in that ambience. Like going down the street, you can find the famous Zara, and behind that, you can find a small shop that can have something very, very interesting for you. So it's just discovering and giving the same tools to everyone.
Okay. Ines, Lagam, it's a fashion brand and it uses live streaming, but what else? What is the idea behind Lagam? Where does it come from?
Lagam is a fashion on-demand brand. We only produce what we sell, so we have zero waste impact. We started doing a little, when we started on 2017, we started creating different products like every month. We don't work as very traditional fashion brands that do like collections between 6 months and 6 months. We are working on like creating new models every month, and we started doing like little productions all here in Spain. But with the years, we were like knowing that our impact on the industry, that is the most contaminant industry on the world, is fashion. We wanted to not to be part of this, and not only using different materials of sustainability materials, but we wanted to focus on the process of creating these products. And the main problem here is the overproduction that has the stocks that has all the fashion brands, and all those stocks remain stocks that you have to finally throw them or just give them the less price to sell them in a very bad way. So on this last year of pandemic year, we were focusing and creating our new business model of brand on only being producing what we sell. So every Wednesday we launch between 7 and 8 products that you can buy during 1 week, and then you will receive them in 20 days. Sorry, we produce it here in Barcelona and in Spain, and this product will only be produced what it has been sold. So there is not overstock and waste of products. So we work with drops, and every Wednesday there are new drops. So that's why every Wednesday we do live streaming sales sessions to show our clients what are the new things that we are launching and how they can wear them in different ways, and giving more importance to those products because they are only available for 1 week. So that's the difference between our brand.
Okay. When we spoke earlier, you also mentioned that you also do a podcast as part of your social selling strategy. How does that fit in?
Yeah.
I'm very interested in podcasts. So.
Well, as I always say, I really think that for a brand is not only having a good product. You have to know how to create your community, how to build different things to get engaged with your clients. And like 2 years ago, I was a really big fan of podcasts, and I really wanted to create a podcast for our clients and our fans of Lagam, because our mission as a brand was to inspire girls to take the world by storm. And what we really wanted to do is every action of our brand has to respond to our mission. So we really thought, okay, let's create this podcast where I interview different girls and women of any industry that I really think that they inspire, and they can talk about their history or what they are doing, and create these chapters with them. This started 2 years ago with 1 chapter per month, and then last year we had our first how do you say it? Our first
Launch.
no, our for our podcast on commerce to create engagement with the brand that doesn't have to talk about any product. So it's, you are building a community, you're building new values around your products, and this is your clients really want to wear Lagam, not only because of the products, because we are really a fashion brand and we really create cool products, but also because I'm really big fan of the podcast of Lagam. No? So this, what does is to create and to give more customers that you cannot, for example, get first for our designs, but they come to our brand because of the podcast. No? So that's why we also create our podcast.
Okay. David Penna.
Yep.
We know that you guys over there at People are super busy these days, which is also why you're in remote today. Can you tell a little bit about what it is that you're working on? What it is that you're keeping you so busy you cannot join us here?
Well, unfortunately, I can just tell you a little bit about what we are doing. But it is true, we are really, really very, 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 very busy at the moment. Just a little clue, 5-6 months ago, we had the opportunity to buy one of our greatest competitors in our sector, which is 21 Buttons. And this transaction was the first part of a whole deal that we designed at that moment. The idea was to first, with 21 Buttons, improve our acquisition side, both in terms of users and influencers, and we were in our way to find another deal to complete this transaction, more in the monetization side. So we have been working in this second part of the deal for basically for the last 3 months during the summer, and we are pretty close to conclude it, but not now, unfortunately. I think in a matter of a couple of weeks, 3, we will come to you guys with fresh news, but I'm afraid that I can't say more than that.
Okay, in more general terms, what is the future for people? Where will people be in a few years from now?
We think that with this deal, we are very focused to what we want people to be in the future, which is a place where you can find things in a very easy way, in a very intuitive way. You find curated information to help you make your decisions. And once you have made your decision, you can buy directly from us anything you need, wherever it is. We have discovered last year we launched in different countries apart from Spain, first in Portugal, then in Mexico and South America, including Brazil. And we discovered that the idea of the way we are helping our users to make their lives easier is the same. It works the same. Our solution works the same either if you are in Brazil, in Mexico, in Spain, or in Portugal. So we think that our solution has an application worldwide. Now with the acquisition of 21 Buttons, we have a really great community of users all along Europe, in France, UK, Germany, Russia, Turkey. So we think that in a matter of a few years, we hope to be a solution that could be of help of anyone in the world being in the process of making a purchase decision. And that's our aim, basically.
Okay, awesome, very good. David Perez, you mentioned already that you're working on this Shop Live and it's a new thing for you, but also the same question, what do you expect Go Pop-Up or Shop Live to be a few years from now? What are the goals, what are the ambitions?
Well, we define ourselves like the experts in ephemeral retail and marketing, so everything related to pop-up communication of products, services, and experiences is our objective. So we think that we are on the way to become really phygital, omnichannel in this kind of relationship between the brands and the consumers. So providing any tool that the brands and the shops need in order to get this communication done in terms of promotions, in terms of presenting new products, going to new markets, and growing in their influence and in their scope in terms of products and in terms of markets. So we think that this online adventure that we are dealing with now, combined with the physical world, is something that will give all the necessary tools to the brands in order to promote themselves and to have a better relationship with their consumers.
Okay, very good. And same for you, Ines. Like where do you see that going? What do you see that becoming?
Well, now what we are working on is in our new model on demand model. Now the aim is in the next year, is to have not a 10 product portfolio of every Wednesday, like being 20 products every Wednesday and launching every Wednesday, and reducing the times of deliver to our clients. No? Now we are delivering from our fabrics to our warehouse and then our warehouse to clients. Our objective is to deliver from our factories directly to our customers and to integrate with our factories. So that's the point we are working on it. And as well of not having a limited time of our drops, so that you can go like next week and buy the thing that we launched last week. So we are like working a lot on our operations infrastructure to improve this. So the main objective is also this being more international. Now our 40% of our revenues come from outside Spain, and this is the objective is to be more than the 50%. So it's what we are working on a short term. I always say we have a lot of ambition, but we work more on the next week's month short term, because then you can have a pandemic and all your plans go away. So
Right.
That's the point.
Okay, very good. Was that it? Right.
For explaining your dynamics and your vision of the sector. Thank you, Ines, David, also David, and of course, Christian, for being here with us. We have to say goodbye because, as I said, we don't have any time, but we would like to thank to our global partners, to the Ministry of Transport, the Barcelona City Council, also Servihabitat and Akbar companies. Just to let you know, today here in Barcelona New Economy Week, we did 66 sessions with 198 speakers. We have to say goodbye for today, but we leave you with an inspirational talk with JJ Delgado. He is the Global Digital Director from Estrella Galicia, and he will talk about the new paradigms of the future of business. I leave you with him. Enjoy. See you tomorrow.